So tired. Okay, so I went over to Epic Dash's, or Miss Misha's, I guess, since that's what he's going by on his, or her, channel now. It's complicated. Anyway, I spent the night over at his house and we stayed up all night counting down the hours waiting for the season premiere. And it was so worth it. I was not disappointed at all with this premiere. Definitely worth the hype, even if most of the episode was pretty much spoiled from all the trailers and sneak peeks, but that's neither here nor there. And I will indeed get into specifics as to how great it was, as it is now my job to do so. But first, cue the intro. So the episode begins with Twilight wondering why she and her friends were given the castle in the season premiere, to which Rainbow Dash replies, "Can't you just receive a gift and enjoy it? Must you always contemplate the purpose of your gifts? You should be more thankful for your blessings and just be glad that you have a new place to live after Tyrek mercilessly blew up your library. You need to be more happy about the life you've been given." Okay, she didn't actually say it in those words, but I would have really liked her to. So then they discover that when all 6 of them are all sitting in their thrones all at the same time, a giant map of Equestria appears.
It's got all of Equestria! Hi, Mom and Dad!
Oh my gosh! Just that look of absolute despair on Pinky's face for absolutely no reason. It's priceless! The map then causes their cutie marks to glow and go over to a specific location, and Twilight comes up with the brilliant idea to go there, coming to the obvious conclusion that the map is telling them to do so for whatever important reason.
Maybe I'll just stay here with Spike.
Awesome! Me and Big Mac have a huge weekend ahead of us talking hoofball and trading hoofball cards and arguing about hoofball stats.
On second thought, maybe I'd better go with them.
Is it just me, or does anyone else think that Spike and Big Mac's weekend would have made for a pretty good episode? I mean, by no means did this episode suck, nor do I give a shit about sports. But I honestly think we could use an episode where 2 bros are just hanging out and funny shenanigans ensue, and we somehow get a lesson of friendship at the end. Is that too much to ask for, Hasbro? Is it? Is it? Anyway, so Twilight and friends go out to the middle of nowhere and come across a strange town, where every pony has creepy fake smiles and they all have the same cutie mark. And their leader has villain written all over her.
We're happy to have any pony who wants to experience true friendship for the first time.
Yeah, between that and the musical number she performs with the villagers, it's hard not to be suspicious. Actually, I'm pretty sure I've seen this somewhere before, only far less communist.
After all, no pony has ever come to our village and wanted to leave. Why should you be any different? But that is entirely your choice.
Why can't I think of it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh well, I'll think of it later. Anyway, since no pony has a cutie mark, no pony has any special talents. And since no pony has any special talents, all of the merchandise sucks!
My name is Sugar Belle. What can I bring you? We have muffins.
And it soon revealed that the population is essentially brainwashed.
Forgive me for overhearing, but just a moment ago you were disagreeing, and now it sounds like you're agreeing. Well, you had such differing opinions and cutie marks, but you look like you're friends. I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard time understanding. Different talents lead to different opinions, which lead to bitterness and misery. So, why aren't you bitter and...
Yeah, like that's not a clue.
Come inside before you go. Meet me downstairs.
Or that? So after Pinkie Pie is essentially force-fed the terrible muffins that would send Derpy into absolute rage, the group meets Sugar Belle in secret, and we get some exposition, which leads to our protagonists asking Starlight Glimmer about the Cutie Mark Vault, which in turn leads to a trap. Why am I not surprised?
It's a trap!
It's a trap!
It's a trap! It's a trap!
Yeah, I know, that joke is being so overused for this episode right now, but I don't really care. So the main six get their cutie marks taken from them, and are for all intents and purposes rendered powerless. Then Starlight goes all Kim Jong-il on them, and traps them in a room with a speaker constantly droning about some pretty dark and depressing shit.
In sameness, there is peace. Exceptionalism is a lie. Free yourself from your cutie mark. Choose equality as your special talent.
Hey, this is pretty good!
By never being your best.
And since they've all had their talents taken away from them, they can't get themselves out. Like, at all.
Shoot! I can't even make countryisms no more.
No! Not Applejack's countryisms! We're all doomed! So since they can't break out, Twilight comes up with a plan to have Fluttershy convince the village that she's accepted their philosophy, since she's the only one who seems like she would, so she can sneak out to the Cutie Mark Vault, get everyone's cutie marks back, and the main six can escape. Foolproof, right? Right. Except that it's Fluttershy doing this. So then Starlight goes all Joe McCarthy and tries to get Fluttershy to rat out the ponies that tried to help them out earlier. But before she can, Party Favor steps forward to act as the scapegoat so that the other two can get off scot-free. Talk about sacrifice.
Come, all new friends stay with me until their cottage is completed.
I wonder how many Klopfics are going to be written on that idea alone. So Fluttershy sneaks out that night to try and get their cutie marks back. But it turns out Starlight Glimmer takes the main six's cutie marks into her own personal storeroom to use for her own propaganda purposes. Man, she's evil. She's really starting to remind me of someone, but I can't seem to recall who. Also, it turns out her equal sign cutie mark is totally fake. Again, why am I not surprised? So the next day, through some good quality acting, Twilight and Fluttershy get Starlight's guard down long enough so they can exploit said fake cutie mark, which causes the townsponies to question Starlight's leadership and her loyalties and her true motives, which leads to her admitting that the Staff of Sameness is fake and it was her taking their cutie marks away all along, which leads to them questioning her more, which in turn leads to a revolutionary riot.
Let's start a riot! A riot! Let's start a riot! Let's start a riot! A riot! Let's start a riot!
So everyone other than the main six gets their cutie marks back, and the four ponies that had befriended the main six help them chase Starlight down, which is a really good thing, seeing as...
Oh, come on!
Why are they so slow?
I can't believe we have to count on these other ponies to save our cutie marks.
I'm kind of in agreement with Dash here. I mean, sure, it shows character development that these new guys are going to such great lengths to help them out. But were I in the main six's position, my pride would be so hurt right now.
My newest recipe, snow pie!
Yes. Yes. Break. 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 Aw, damn it.
Feel like an airdrop?
Oh yeah! Take that, bitch! So the main six get their cutie marks back, and with them, their talents. And more importantly, their speed. Twilight and Starlight begin to get into a magical showdown, when Twilight starts to preach to Starlight about friendship, and Starlight runs away out of boredom. So every pony throws a party in celebration that their old dictator is finally gone, and that they finally have their lives back together. And Twilight and co. find out that when their cutie marks buzz at the end of an adventure, it means their work there is done. The end.
This feels like an ending. It doesn't have to be an ending yet, right?
So, what did I think of the premiere? I loved it. There was so much world building in this two-parter. We get to see some new faces, as well as some new memes. And the writers really stepped up their game as well, in making MLP more dark and mature. In fact, for the Season 4 finale, Silver Quill came up with a Mad Lib prompt that the writers tend to follow when they're doing the two-parters. In this two-parter, only about half of it works or can be properly filled in. So the writers are slowly starting to shift from their comfort zone, and for that reason, I really can't wait to see what else they have in store for us for the rest of the season. And speaking about the rest of the season, I'd like to take some time to talk about Starlight Glimmer specifically. The writers have come up with some pretty dark villains in the past, but none of them have been so realistically evil. I mean, normally when Twilight tries preaching friendship and love and tolerance, the villains just scoff at her after she finishes talking and then get their asses kicked. But Starlight ain't having none of that shit. She just straight up tells Twilight to shut the fuck up. And I love that about her. The fact that she's realistic, not the fact that she told Twilight to shut up. However, my biggest nitpick for this premiere, other than Spike not coming along, is that they didn't do enough exposition for her. Sure, she's stealing every pony's individuality to try and eventually take over Equestria, but my biggest concern is, why? Why does she want to take over Equestria? Why does she want everyone in Equestria except her to be the same? There are so many unanswered questions involving her character that I really want answers for. But luckily she got away at the end, so hopefully we'll find out more later on in the season. I'm actually hoping that they'll take an entire episode to do so. I mean, if The Walking Dead can dedicate 3 episodes to the villain's perspective, surely MLP can dedicate just 1. Or half of 1. Wait a minute. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm off to get some much-needed sleep, and I look forward to seeing all of you after the next episode. But, in the meantime, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts, so leave them in the comment section below. I'm Brad the Browncoat Brony, still flying, and I will catch you guys next time.